Patch 1.3 has continued to see the dominance of three particular decks which are controlling the meta. In this video, I will look at these three tier 1 decks and explain how to use them and the strategies you'll be utilizing to climb the ranks. If you want to make your opponent's life miserable by preventing them playing the game, then this is the deck for you. Heimer Control is a fun deck to play, and you can be creative with your answers using 25 different spells to spawn Heimer's turrets and have full control of the board. The main win condition is full control of the board, and to play Heimer at the right moment when you can get maximum value. What this means is you ideally want to play him and a flash of brilliance or two, so you can easily get a lot of elusive MK3 floor begone turrets. Shadow Assassin and Solitary Monk work well with this, as they can quickly take down the opponent's nexus, really taking advantage of that elusive keyword. Against aggressive decks, it's critical you find your early removal spells quickly, like Thermogenic Beam and Mystic Shot. This allows you to stay healthy in those first few turns and prevent being burned out. This deck only has 9 followers in total, so you're going to be relying on your spells taking out opponents' followers rather than using these spells to damage the Nexus. Claws of the Dragon will be crucial for those early game combat trades, as one of the few followers this deck does have. Against slow decks, summon Heimerdinger on a turn when you can play him, but also have multiple answers to keeping him alive if, say, you're against a heavy removal deck. This deck also includes Deny, so you can protect Heimerdinger using this and other Iona support spell cards. Having Progress Stay, which can also in turn summon a T-Hex, is another powerful combo, and you should be able to get this off in late game. Until that play happens though, you must be very resourceful with your removal and stall cards. Vi is a flexible card and isn't actually necessary to the game's plan, but given that there isn't really another champion that fits into this deck cleanly, she almost acts as a glorified follower. Vi provides you with a powerful blocker and challenger to keep your opponent's board in check whilst you're trying to set up Heimerdinger. Challenge elusive units with Vi, so your elusive followers, like MK Floor Be Gone, can easily hit the opponent's nexus. This deck is for players that like to curve out and play the board whilst having a few tricks up their back pocket. It features cards mostly from Buildwater, but also has 9 Freyord cards including Sejuani. In early game, you'll want to use all your cheap followers like Jagged Butcher and Hired Gun to make the most efficient trades possible. Ideally, you will also want to damage the enemy nexus as frequently as possible to help level up Sejuani earlier, but you do not want to lose board presence just to inflict cheap damage. Misfortune is the perfect addition to this deck's early game. She makes blocking a bit of a nightmare with her effect, which deals 1 damage to all battling allies, while simultaneously guaranteeing damage to the enemy nexus. She isn't the easiest champion to level up, but with the help of your scout units like Island Navigator, you should be able to achieve this without too much difficulty. There are 2 main archetypes of this deck, and I've opted for the one that relies on card stealing synergies with Pilfered Goods and Black Market Merchant. The other archetype has a more efficient, tempo-driven early game, which I thought was less valuable in this case. Sejuani is arguably the most powerful champion in the game right now, and provides the perfect late game for the tempo deck like this. Before leveling up, she often acts as a removal spell and provides overwhelm damage to plus pesky blockers. After she levels up, she can frostbite the entire opposing board like a burst or fast spell with the supports of cards like Warning Shot or Make It Rain. You can also aggressively use the Warning Shots to level up Sejuani quickly, whilst also easily setting off Plunder. 2 of your big finishes involve Plunder, including Citrus Courier and Riptide Rex, which will win you the game with a well-timed Rally or Cannon Barrage. Endure Spiders is great for players who like to have answers and flexibility with plenty of draw cards and removal effects. The control nature of the deck means you can pivot the game in any way you want to suit your needs. Your primary objective is to kill lots of units and to stay in the game until you can summon a buffed up They Who Endure. This plays differently to aggressive Noxus Shadow Isle Spider decks, and instead follows a more kind of control type strategy, stalling out the game by blocking with Spiderlings until late game. It has the advantage over other control decks by packing some serious early to mid game power in the form of Kalista, who will actually level up very quickly due to all your units' deaths and apply a lot of pressure on your opponent together with other threats like Blighted Caretaker and Cursed Keeper. The Drain keyword on Nevergate Collector and Vile Feast can help keep your Nexus healthy and allow you to have a better chance of reaching your endgame winning condition. The main star of the deck is They Who Endure, who will gain 1 power and health stats every time a unit dies. Most of the cards in this deck have abilities which spawn additional units, which means you can sacrifice even more followers by throwing them into trades or feeding them to Glimpse Beyond, which would in turn result in an absolutely massive They Who Endure. The Overwhelm keyword on They Who Endure will allow you to deal easy damage to the opponent's Nexus. If you're struggling with combat, the spell Atrocity allows you to kill one of your own units and deal its power as damage to any target of your choice, including the enemy's Nexus. Combined with They Who Endure, who has, say, over 10 power, this would be a really easy way of achieving the end condition of this deck with a sudden death blow. Watch out though, as Purify can reduce the stats of They Who Endure back to its original 1 power and health, so make sure you have a plan B if your opponent is running a Demacia deck with this in. Thanks again for listening, guys. I've tried to keep today's video a bit shorter to the point. I want to experiment with video lengths to see what you guys think, so I'd love some feedback on how this style of video works. I'm hoping to do a lot of videos on patch 1.4 next week, so stay tuned. See you next time, guys.